In Rainbows by Radiohead, released December 28th, 2007. Weird Fishes was used as a TikTok sound last year, which caught my attention and set me on this Radiohead journey, so I'm looking forward to hearing it in context and in its entirety. At this point, I've listened to both OK Computer and Kid A, two vastly different experiences, so I really don't know what to expect for this one, but it seems to be a fan favorite, so I'm excited to dive in and join the conversation in the comments. Let's begin. Oh, Jesus. This was the first track I've had to dissect in Ableton because the 5/4 time signature was throwing me off, but after a few listens, it becomes less and less intimidating. I love the layering. Oh my god. I get the impression that Radiohead just lives for these build-ups, a technique used all throughout both Kid A and in Rainbows. It feels carefree, but there's actually a lot of care behind it. If anything, I feel like we're just looking for an escape out of this maze. Sometimes we're overcome with frustration and hopelessness. We just want to get to the other side. Those breaths. Oh my god, what character, my god. I love that they included a lot of the experimental stuff that they did in Kid A as well. I've only listened to that album a couple times because I was on the fence about turning it into a video or not, but some of the audio effects with the reverb and leading right back into the vocals, a lot of harsh sounds, a lot of crunchy sounds, I love it, but with a lot more structure, so I'm excited to see where this takes us.
I do not understand.
This is the most traditionally rock-style track on the album, and I really love it. It embodies a lot of the angst and similar feelings of displacement that we saw in OK Computer. I feel like I'm drowning with I interpret a lot of the lyrics as expressions of imposter syndrome, trapped with no choice but to finally expose oneself to feel any sense of liberation. Oh. I love this change of pace for the second half. It feels like a wash of acceptance through rage and dissatisfaction, a complex set of emotions that explode with passionate energy. And we close out with complete catharsis. I actually wouldn't mind a couple extra measures of this. I love this. The ending of this really reminded me of Cage the Elephant. Really intense, angsty style. Oh, love it. The buildup is crazy. It feels so like damp. It feels like, you know, I'm I'm being buried a little bit in this one. The strings. I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to say that Nude is my favorite track off the album. It's as vulnerable as the title suggests, a bittersweet waltz with a loved one. The vocal melody has a fun, abstract, and, at least on my first fistful of listens, unpredictable delivery. Keep your expectations low because anything could happen. Why do I feel like crying? It's an unexpected ascension to heaven. It's usually an inaccessible emotion. It's how it feels to simply allow and accept. What a reflective track. My God, that was beautiful. And here we go. The Weird Fishes. I've been waiting. I literally don't even remember what the snippet sounded like. Where Kid A felt to me like a meditation, In Rainbows feels like a baptism, this song in particular, a rebirth after a plunge to the bottom of the ocean. And I have so much love for these layered guitars, evenly spaced out so that while it feels busy, it doesn't feel so cluttered. We're going underwater, but we're not afraid anymore.
I get eaten by the worms and weird fishes. Weird fishes.
Oh, that pickup. Okay, maybe it's a meditation also, and when we're pulled out, it ends on a cliffhanger. Our opportunities to move forward are endless. Whoa, how do I feel about finally listening to Weird Fishes? Honestly, I'm still kind of hung up on Nude. I mean, it was still beautiful, don't get me wrong, and there was a lot of beautiful arpeggio, lots of bright plucks, two just really reflective tracks back to back. It's so much. Ah. I love the, like, beatboxing.
Next step, waiting in the way.
Even on subsequent listens, I took this track for granted before being reminded of its beauty. The payoff for the long, exhausting hike is much more than worth it here.
You're all I need.
Sometimes it feels quite dark, haunting even, with plenty of tension in those bass notes. Every sound hangs in the air, suspended in a moment of uncertainty. Tom tells us it's all right and it's all wrong, and that's okay. Embrace it if you can. Oh my god. Okay, I felt like it had to have been taking me somewhere. The whole track was a lead up to that. There was that section that like introduced both that lower sound and the higher bell. I always love that balance. So pleasing. And I got a couple comments on my OK Computer one about how I shouldn't really pay too much attention to the lyrics, so I'm trying not to, but I have a little bit of an audio processing issue, so it's nice to be able to glance every now and then. That's why I keep them up, just so you know.
Wakey, wakey, rise and shine, it's on again, off again, on again, watch me fall like dominoes.
The folky strum of the guitar makes me feel like we're opening up to each other around a campfire. The mood is set, and I'm here to listen.
Stop, we thought you had it, you were not.
Why is this time signature so confusing to me?
For no real reason.
Still such a sucker for strings. And the strings really emphasize that folklore feeling I get here, and just like Faust, we've sold our soul to the devil for the rest of the album. Oh, that one was so short. Whoa. Why is this so heavy in my right ear? The falsetto of this track is so comforting. I'm inclined to believe that I am the reckoner, and Tom is trying to calm me down somehow, ground me, talk me off the ledge. I really appreciate the structure of this one. You'll see I could predictably navigate where we were heading. It's as gentle as it is familiar.
Because we separate like ripples on a black shore.
The album's title is sung out in rainbows, hidden beneath the layers. I love the broken rhyme schemes, the fade out, like a dream in distant memory. Strings are added at the very tail end, like there's more to say, but we can't follow these threads forever. Not much to say about that one. That one took me on a mental journey. What the fuck?
I don't wanna be your friend, I just wanna be your lover.
The reverb and echo of the vocals make me feel like this is an inner voice, the devil on my shoulders tempting me. It unfolds with the song, as if that temptation is getting louder over time.
Fall off the table, get swept under.
These are a little too harsh for me.
Infrastructure will collapse from voltage spikes.
It's very visual, with impacts responding to the lyrics, immediate feedback, and direct impact, a premonition of the possible consequences of your action. Getting homewrecker vibes from this.
Forget about your house of cards. And now's in mind.
It's such a slow burn, wondering will they, won't they? And throughout all this, do you feel guilty? Were your actions justified? Maybe at this point it's hard to admit, despite the dark, heavy cloud hanging over us. This one immediately visual, picturing a house of cards, how fragile it is and everything can come falling down. But forget about that. Forget about the consequences. I don't want to be your friend. I just want to be your lover. We continue with the themes of the last track, but now it's more direct and less internal. We're now possibly exploring the relationship, the complexities of connection, and we're matched with a more energetic and assertive sound.
Come back and focus again. The walls have been in shape. They got a Cheshire cat grin, all blurring into one.
I feel like actually I am the temptation now. Like I'm being chased through the crowd at a club, the beat pulsing in my ears. This dance with danger seems intoxicating and never ending. I love that riff.
Before you run away from me, before you're lost between the notes, the beat goes round and round. The beat goes round and round. Come on and let it out. Come on and let it out. Come on.
While we've heard plenty of instrumental builds throughout the discography, this is one where the vocals really charge with energy. We're starting to mourn a connection with someone that we know it wouldn't have worked out with.
Jigsaw falling into place, so there is much to explain. You eye each other as you pass. She looks back, you look back.
When do you come to terms with something like that? Maybe it's when you finally accept that some things are best left behind. When you realize that dwelling on what could have been only keeps you from moving on. When it just clicks.
When I'm at the pearly gates, this will be on my videotape, my videotape.
Here we get another Faust reference with the message cleared up in the second half. Sometimes you only realize what you have, how beautiful life can be when you're close to losing it.
Out of control on videotape,
And yes, I did look into the musical illusion of this piece. They apparently perfected this track over an entire decade, and I really appreciate the technical nuances that Radiohead puts into their work.
face to face, I'm talking to you before. No matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid.
Am I wrong in thinking that this is like a suicide note? At this point, I'm thinking it encompasses more than that. Just knowing death comes for us all, soft as your pillow. I'm not alone in that read, though. Tom responded to a similar question about Kid A's ending. You can read suicide into most things, can't you? If so, what a tragic ending to this album, but overall, lovely listen. Very glad I got around to it today. I definitely feel a lot more connected to this one than I did for Kid A, which is one of the reasons why I ended up not making a video for that one, but I'm excited to look a little deeper into these and add some of my afterthoughts sprinkled throughout the video. So thank you so much for listening with me. I hope you're doing well. Let me know if I missed anything or if there's anything that caught your attention that didn't catch mine. You know I read every single one of my comments, right? So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it. This is my first album listen of 2024, so it looks like we're starting on the right foot. No one really knows what's coming next, so stay tuned, stay safe, and be kind.